1990s, an LA gal named Meridith Baer was moving. Now, needing a place to store her stuff, she asked a developer friend if she could decorate an empty listing of his with her furniture, plants, and other decor. He said yes, and she did. The house sold swiftly and for way above the asking price. Naturally, she was asked to decorate another home, and another. Meridith Baer Home was born. Today we are at the headquarters of Meridith Baer Home in Los Angeles, California, to talk to the Queen of Home Staging herself about her journey and of course take a spin around her 200,000 square foot facility, the global home for her home staging, interior design, and luxury home furnishing empire. I am so excited to be here today with you, Meridith Baer. Thank you so much for your time to sit down with us today. So how does a gal with a lot of plants who's living in LA from the Midwest end up here?
Well, you know, it's a very interesting story. I was thinking like that I was very stuck in my life. I had just turned 50. I'd been a screenwriter, and I was getting tired of being in that room with it used to be my typewriter, but then it was my computer, by myself, trying to come up with, you know, the next bit of dialogue or the next scene. I wanted to be in the garden instead. So instead of writing, I'd sneak out. The day would go by, and the next thing I knew is I had 250 huge potted plants that were all flourishing. I was fixing up this house that I was leasing, and the owner came to town and said, "Oh my God, I can't believe what you've done to this house. I'm gonna make a lot of money on it. You're gonna have to get out." You know, and then so what do you do with 250 potted plants? And so I had a friend who was trying to sell a house that he was an architect, had a beautiful courtyard in the center of the house, and I said, how about if I bring all my pots over and I'll lay it out and it'll be really beautiful, and then whoever is looking to buy this house could imagine what it could be. And I'll take care of them, I'll keep them fresh, and I'm thinking, how about I also bring like my furniture over and sort of put it in rooms, and that way when the person walks in, they'll sort of see how to live in the space. They sold the house in less than a week for $500,000 over asking to the head of one of the studios. Then they both said, "Will you do this for me?" And I went, okay. Sue Ellen even got me the next house. She said, "Well, just move into this house with your stuff. And the house is very difficult to sell. You'll be there for a year." Well, it sold within the month. So I found myself moving. And pretty soon I realized, oh, this is a business.
Getting homes sold quickly would enable Meridith to form a business around a new must in luxury real estate.
I mean, in the beginning with staging, it didn't even have a name. I just started doing it, and then someone called it staging. At first I had to talk people into it. You know, now it's an accepted that people should probably stage their house.
So I'm sure as your business grew, you needed a place to put the stuff.
Right, well in the beginning, I would store things in the garages of whatever house I was staging, and then the homeowners got mad at me for it. And so then I took a 1,000 square foot warehouse, which I thought was just massive. And then it wasn't enough room, and we moved to a 5,000. And then we moved to a 15,000. So now we're in a 200,000 square foot building. Plus we still have the old building, which is now all manufacturing. We make all of our upholstered furniture so that we can get the quality we want. And then below you'll see that we have sections. We have our accessory department, our art department, our rug department, our chair department, and I would love to show it to you.
There's a method to achieving the much sought after Meridith Baer look. Even though you're in modern homes, you're in Mediterranean homes, you're in every type of home, there is in the underlying Meridith Baer look. How would you describe that?
Well, our underlying look starts with a palette of upholstered furniture that's either white or cream or beige, maybe gray, but it's in the neutrals so that we can build our look on top of that simple background. We were more interested in the shape, and we're always trying to look for like, okay, maybe a little thinner arm and maybe a little more this, and always sort of tweaking the actual shape or silhouette of the furniture. But then we start bringing in our look by traveling all over the world and finding everything interesting and beautiful that we can, and then we start layering. We layer with rugs and decor pillows and art and just interesting objects and books. Sometimes when you go into someone's book collection, it looks discordant and all of this. This will give it just a easy look. Like what we want is for people to think, I'm going to buy this house and then everything's going to be easy. Well, this is it's just a group of shapes that if you put it on a shelf or on a table, it's interesting, and the eye doesn't even necessarily look at it. It just gives interest. I like orchids because they, there's nothing allergic about them. They last a really long time, and they seem exotic and elegant. You can change the way they look with whatever kind of a pot you put them in too.
Oh my God! Right.
So they're rustic, or they're Asian, or they're fleur de lis. I mean, this is a fun department because it's just a little of this, it's a little of that. I mean, imagine this is all white. So it's white, but look at the variety of what it is that's white. So here you might have a collection of things that are just white, but they're all different. They're one has birds on it and one doesn't. And, so this is when you want white on white, or maybe you have a red wall, so you want to bring in some whites to contrast the red wall. But I mean, that'll end up somewhere, right?
Now, back in the day when your budget was very modest, or in the past, some Meridith Baer tips, thrift shops?
Yeah, everything. Flea markets, any garage sale, anything that was in my house, except for my cat. And then our individual designers can then bring in sort of their look through the very underlying basics of what we have. So then I say, okay, here's your treasure trove. Have fun. Make this make sense. The designers will have to kind of, see what we've got. Styles come in and out with rugs. Some of the older rugs, like the style will go out. Like right now, all of a sudden, everybody wants the deep reds and blues, which for a while nobody wanted.
Now, budget-wise, is this where people spend a lot of money in rugs in general?
Yes. Besides just very, very high-end, the most glamorous homes in the world, we're also interested in developing a division of our company right now called Studio MB that's going to be for $600,000 to $1 million homes, where we go in and use either beautiful furniture we have that for some reason we're not using in the very high end anymore, and selling it for a very, very reduced price as a package. So it's really exciting just to start expanding so that not just the very wealthy can have our look, but anybody can have it, or some aspect of it.
Even though Meridith Baer Home can be found all over the nation, they all get individual, one-of-a-kind treatment. This is a kind of a logistical note. I'm going through this warehouse, 200,000 square feet, and it makes Home Depot, or it makes the big furnishing places look like a little general store.
Right.
So you're doing a lot of output. You're doing tons of staging.
We did 1,800 installations last year.
How have you maintained this curated individuality in the face of such volume?
Well, that is just my personal insanity. And my group, we all love treasure hunting. So, and what we did is we didn't buy deep, we bought broad. Mostly, we'll only buy 10 or 20 of an item. So, between all the cities, you're not going to see it in every house. You'll see our basic, but you're not going to see those individual items. And then we're always looking for emerging artists, new artists. And then we even have some amazingly talented people in our group that are right here in the building right now painting. We need some art for tomorrow. There's someone there with her paints creating a masterpiece on a weekly basis.
I'm working on something over here right now. It's like the one that we did for, was it Carmela? And it's just a texture piece. So I use this Bondo.
Right.
I put it down
to create
and then
the
I paint
texture.
over it.
You're
Yeah.
gonna paint on top
and then
of
you
that.
have layers
Fabulous.
and layers.
If you look down these aisles, we just have the small art. We just have aisles and aisles and aisles. We have like this is vintage. This is celebrity art.
We can go into the cage and see all the special stuff.
Yeah, Fiji. This is food.
Silver frames.
Kids stuff.
Our kids stuff is overflowing.
Oh, is it?
Oh my goodness, yes.
Now, are there fights amongst designers because of all the fabulous stuff?
Oh yeah.
Why don't you?
This is the danger zone. The art
Is this where the
department.
big fights happen?
is where it goes
What?
down.
How do the fights go? What happens?
It usually happens because someone gets here before someone else, you know,
Oh.
and they want this piece, or there's sometimes their tag on there or something, or a piece just disappears. So we created this cage to kind of
Keep people honest.
control the kids.
Oh.
Yeah. So I have the magic keys to heaven.
I see.
Yeah.
Now back in here are more like really large.
Yes.
pieces.
So you can only get in this cage if your budget is 15 or higher, and then within here, everything is color coded by price. So according to your budget, you can be in certain.
So here's Brian, who's one of our genius designers that makes me look good. See, the other thing about being a business person is you hire people and then get to take credit for everything they do.
Though Meridith hails from the artistic world, she's found the business world to be full of positive surprises. Walking through Meridith Baer Home headquarters is a testament to how even the most unlikely stories can end in great creative collaborations.
It's a group of people and a collective of just like wonderful, wonderful energy. I feel just kind of blessed to have the chance to bring all these people together and work with them.
What is the biggest misconception about being a business person from an artist perspective?
You know, one of the things that really shocked me is how much fun business is. I mean, I wasn't even really comfortable dating a businessman. I think I was always around artists, but I'm going, wow, I mean, if I had known how fun business was, I might not have ever been a writer. You really do get to see something grow and develop its own personality and so forth. I think it's very, very exciting. And I see no reason why you have to be a man to be a business person. I mean, to me, you can be anybody. You just have to find something that you like and then, you know, keep doing it.
Proving that a full-fledged empire can start with the smallest of steps, Meridith Baer continues to evolve her homegrown business at a comfortable pace, but one that is rapid and authentic to who she is. If you like what you've seen, please comment, like, subscribe below. Thank you so much for joining us on this episode of DIGStv. Farewell for now.